Hey everyone, my name's Traci Kanan. Thank you for tuning into the Hilarious Hypnotist podcast. We're doing a special edition, a private viewing, shall we say. And the topic tonight is how to sleep without counting sheep. So, here we go. This is going to be tips and tricks to help you sleep at night. Okay, so, first of all, let's rule out the obvious reasons why people can't sleep, okay? Do you have eyelids that work?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
So if you don't have eyelids, that's a whole different talk. Okay, just throwing that out there. Okay, so what I have found as a hypnotist is that most of the reasons why people can't sleep is because of what's going on in their mind. Okay, our bodies were designed for sleep. From birth, we slept okay, and then stuff happened in our lives, and it's the unresolved stuff in our head is what usually keeps us up at night. Does that sound pretty logical so far? Okay, so one of the first things that I tell all my clients when they're having trouble sleeping is to write down everything on their mind. And you're like, you only gave me a notebook, Traci. I need volumes. So if you just go ahead and take a moment and write down, and you don't have to share it with me at all.
Write down things that
Yeah, write down things that keep you up at night.
I don't know.
They could be concerns that you have. Typically, it's worries about family, worries about health. It could be worries about money.
But I don't think I worry about anything. Really, that much.
Okay.
Not like on every night. Oh, jeez.
It could be a past trauma where sleep was affected, and where I even came up with a lot of this is because I had trouble sleeping from second grade, and I couldn't figure it out. I would fall asleep in school just fine, but during the night, I was up a lot, and then I figured it out 30 years later. But my parents used to go over to friends' house, and they would play poker, and when I got 10, 11 o'clock, they would go, Traci, just go ahead and fall asleep on the bed. So I did. And then they'd wake me up when they were leaving at 2, 3 in the morning to take me home. And so I had a little nap, and then I would just wander around the house. And that began the start of my sleep weirdness. That it was just programmed into me that, oh, you got 5 hours of sleep, it's time to wake up.
Yeah.
And so
I don't know. I go to sleep and then I wake up and say, well, I'm not sleeping, so I might as well get up and do something. So I'll read.
okay.
But
What is the most recent thing that you remember when you woke up? Like, what pulled you out of sleep?
lately it's usually my restless legs, or because I have the carpal tunnel, the numbness.
Okay.
So it's usually something physical that wakes me up.
Okay.
Not necessarily I'm thinking about anything.
Okay,
Unless I
so
have a fight with my husband.
yeah.
That's not an everyday occurrence.
Okay, so carpal tunnel,
Yeah.
and feet. Now, I got to look up carpal tunnel because what we think about manifests in our body in some way. So restless leg, I haven't looked it up, but I'm just going to guess that there's either a fear of moving forward with something, or there's the fear of staying put.
Well, I've had this for a long time because I can remember having restless legs way back when I was teaching, which was 25, 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And not being able to sit and watch TV and standing behind the couch and going back up and down on my toes because I just couldn't sit still.
Okay.
So I know I had it way back then and never did anything about it until the point where the last year or so staying up till 2, 3 in the morning. Or
Okay.
more. So then I went to the doctor and got medicine, but that worked in the beginning. Now I have to take it sooner and sooner.
Okay. So with the restless legs, okay, can you get into the mindset of the restless legs pretty easily?
Yeah.
Where you get to that point where,
Right.
okay, so go ahead and close your eyes for just a moment and think about that restless leg thing you got going. If your legs had a message for you, what would that be?
I don't know. The only thing I can think of is that I'm always thinking exercise.
Ah, okay.
So that's all constantly on my mind. I gotta
Exercise.
exercise and keep my weight down and lose weight, and so I end up dancing all night long because of the
Okay.
restless legs. So I don't know.
All right, so
if
let's
that's tied in or
let's
not.
take it back a step further. If it's exercise, keep moving, what put you in that mindset?
I'm always in that mindset.
But what,
I mean-
you didn't come out of the womb going, I've got to exercise.
Because I was always heavy as a kid.
Boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was always, my whole life, I'm always dieting.
Okay. So you were heavy,
Yeah.
and then your mind said, exercise, keep moving. We don't want to be heavy anymore.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And so now what happened, that part, I'm guessing, that part of you got so good at its job, it didn't shut down. Does this
Yeah,
make
right.
sense
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this part of you got so good at its job, exercise, I got to keep moving. I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to gain weight. I have to keep moving to lose the weight.
Right.
And so that now has become part of you.
Right.
So let me ask you this. If you could talk to your legs and say, hey, look, I'm all right now. Can you take a
But see,
break?
I never think I'm all right. That's the problem.
There. You see how we just keep going back
Right.
in the layers and layers?
Yeah.
So you never think you're all right.
No, because I gain, and then I have to fight to lose it, and then I gain it. So I'm constantly back and forth,
Okay.
and forth.
So now we keep going back that I never think I'm all right.
Right.
So it's the restless leg is an expression for what's going on up here. So that's half the battle
Yeah.
right there. So if you never think you're all right, where does that, how's that working for you? If you never think you're all right?
Well, I think I'm all right for till I start eating and start gaining.
Okay.
If I could keep my mouth shut and not eat,
Okay.
that would be half the problem.
Okay. So we keep going back just a little bit further. So, because the unconscious mind, it makes weird connections. Okay? Just like you can't sleep, it's because of the restless leg. But the restless leg
Yeah.
is from something else. That's turning out to be from something else. So we keep tracking it back. Okay, so if it goes to food, what is the need for food?
Most of the time, it's just sweets and boredom.
Okay.
I eat a lot because of boredom.
Okay.
That's why I try to keep myself busy with projects. But whenever I don't have a project or I don't feel like doing something, that's the first thing I think of is, okay, what can I eat?
Okay. Got it. It's weird how it's all, do you see
Yeah,
where it's all
yeah,
linking now?
yeah.
Okay, so now the next part is to resolve the food. Okay, what can you do besides eat?
Exercise.
Exactly. See where it works now? Now we have the loop.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I have to exercise so I can eat
Eat,
junk.
yeah.
I have to exercise so I can eat junk. So, do you want to break the pattern with the food, or do you want to keep the food?
No, food isn't that important to me. I'd rather have my weight down more than I want food.
Okay. So the weight's more important.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the food, is there a particular food that you're addicted to, or you said it's the boredom?
Yeah. I'll go for sweets.
Okay.
Like when I go home from here, I already have everything out to make cookies.
Okay.
Because girls say you want cookies.
Okay.
So I said, okay, I'll make cookies.
Can you make the cookies and just have one?
Oh yeah, I can. When I'm in the mindset, I have good willpower. Yeah, I would freeze them. I could have one or not have any, and I'll go through phases where I can sit there and not eat it.
Okay.
And
But then there's
all of a
that
sudden,
time
yeah,
when you're like, I made cookies.
yeah.
Okay. Close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to get into that headspace of the cookies. Okay? You had this tremendous willpower, you were doing great, and then you go for the cookie jar.
Yeah.
Okay? What happened just before you went into the cookies?
Probably because it makes me feel good. I don't know.
Okay.
Sweets. Yeah, because I'm always thinking, okay, what could I eat that's sweet that's not going to add weight?
Okay.
I don't. Usually TV.
TV?
Yeah, TV is what. Usually I'm busy and I'll do if I have a project and I sit down and watching TV and I do that, I don't think about food at all. It's when I'm sitting in front of the TV watching with my spouse, and I'm not doing anything.
What are you watching on TV?
Okay, anything could be. I don't know. We watch, as NCIS, all that type of.
Okay.
movies.
So it's not any
programs.
particular show, it's
No,
just
no,
any
no.
show.
Yeah,
Okay.
any show.
'Cause-
Yeah, that's a time when I sit down with my husband and watch TV with him. If I don't have a project in front of me, I'll think of food. If I'm upstairs watching my own programs, I'm on my skier machine
Okay.
as I'm watching TV. And then I don't think of food.
Okay.
So I gotta be doing something watching TV. Otherwise, I'm trying to think of what kind of food I could have.
Okay. All right. So now you're kind of in the cycle between exercising and food. What can I eat? I got to exercise it off. What can I eat? I got to exercise it off. So the food with the cookies, how would you rather react to cookies than going into eating a bunch of them?
I really don't eat a bunch of them. I'll eat 2.
Okay.
I usually don't go and eat or a whole bag of chips or whatever. I usually don't do that. But I will do is I'll have a couple cookies and then I go, okay, what else can I have? And then I'll have a little bit of ice cream. And then I say, okay, well, that's too much. And I find out, okay, I ate way too much. And then I said, okay, now I have to exercise it off.
Okay. And there begins the cycle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that I really go overboard. Like I don't sit down and eat a whole bag of chips. And it's where we live. It's we'll go out to dinner a lot, and so usually I'm pretty good. But lately, like every diet, you're really good. I'm really good willpower, and then all of a sudden, okay,
Fall off the wagon.
yeah, and then it's hard to get back on.
Okay.
And it's the bread, and it's whatever when we go out to. But I try to usually bring home half my meal or less than half.
Okay, so if we could taper back the sweets, would you need to exercise as much?
I do exercise because I think it keeps me physically in better shape, and I don't want to really give that up because I think at my age, I need to
So we'll keep
being
that.
active.
Okay.
And with arthritis and everything, it's good for keeping the joints moving and everything like that.
How would you rather feel about sweets then?
But I'd rather do the exercising because I know that's better for me. I know I can give up sweets, it's just I fall off every once in a while and then I need it. But
Okay. So how would you rather feel about sweets?
how would I like to feel about sweets? Not craving them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it'd be better off if I didn't have them at all.
Okay.
You know, that,
So to not crave them. Okay. What would be another way to say not crave them?
I guess it's a feel good thing. You know, something that I look forward to, and okay, it makes me feel good.
Okay.
Have something good to eat.
Okay. Can I?
Wanting it, which is, you know, I don't really need to want it. I don't know. It's there. If it wasn't there, that's another problem. I buy it, and it shouldn't. You know, if I didn't buy it, I wouldn't be looking for it.
Okay.
So, but that's hard when your spouse is buying it.
Yeah.
Too.
I got one of those too that buys me sweet stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, stop.
Guess what
No.
I got you? Great.
Okay. So let's work on cookies. Cookies, like the main one of the.
Lately, yeah. And the reason why, not necessarily for myself, because he asked, oh, you know, you can make your almond joy cookies. And I go, okay, I can do that. And so I got everything out. And then he says, well, you really shouldn't do that because I really don't want to eat them. But I said, well, I got the stuff out now, so I'm going to make them. And then I freeze them because I like to have, okay, I don't have to eat them now, but they're in the freezer.
Okay.
So if I get
That's a good tactic.
I get an inkling to have it, and then like I said, then I'll take one or two. So it's not necessarily I have to eat them right away. On the other hand, sometimes they say, well, I have to eat some because otherwise they'll be gone. I won't get any.
Okay. It's weird how.
I have to hide them, but I haven't found a good hiding place.
Okay. It's weird how many connections there are to food. Okay. So let me give you a couple of tactics to first of all walk by the cookies so that you can let it go. Okay. One of the things is called tapping.
Tapping?
And it's easy. Okay. Think of a question mark.
Think of a question.
A question mark.
Okay.
Okay. Because that's what you're going to do on your head.
Oh,
Okay.
you're going to go,
Have your cookie in
Yeah.
front of you, or cookies.
right?
And I want the cookie. I want the cookie. I'm going to let myself have the cookie in 10 minutes.
Okay.
All right? And then I want you to just tap.
Okay.
You'll tap here. You'll tap here. You'll tap like on the bone here.
Yeah.
And then on your collarbone.
Okay, so here,
Beside your eye.
beside your eye, on the
On your
cheek,
bone.
and then,
On your collarbone. So it's like a question mark.
okay, okay.
Okay, so you have the cookies. So imagine you got your cookies in front of you. And you're like, I know I shouldn't have these. Okay? I said, I'm going to wait 10 minutes. All right? And then just tap. I don't need the cookies. I don't need the cookies. I'm going to have to exercise a lot more if I have the cookies. I can let the cookies go. They're just cookies. It's just sugar, coconut, and almonds, based on your almond joy cookie. I can let it go. It's safe to let it go. I can let it go. Then you grab your wrist, blow it all away, and say peace.
Okay, so you grab your wrist. You do that how many times?
Until you can put the cookies
Oh,
back.
okay. I can see Coco.
Okay, so if you're not by yourself,
Yeah.
you can do what's called eye tapping. And you just imagine
Oh, okay.
tapping on those points.
Okay.
If you don't want to share this with him, I get it.
No, he'll probably ask me what I did, and,
Yeah.
but if he sees me doing this,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. You might see a few people in our neighborhood doing that. You know they got it from me. But,
Okay.
hey, Cookie, I see what you're doing to me.
All right.
I don't need you doing this anymore. I could let you go. It's just a cookie. It's what I attach to the cookie that's screwing me up. And if I could unattach myself from the cookie, I can let it go. And it's safe to let it go. I can let that cookie go. It's just a cookie. Okay?
So for you.
Did you ever do the calculations on how long you have to work out to work off a cookie?
No, I just make myself exercise 1 to 1.5 hours a day.
Okay.
And like I said, it's probably 80% is to keep my weight down, and the rest of it is just to try to keep my body going.
Okay.
So I think that's just, it might be 50-50, because I think I know if I just sit around, it's gonna physically get worse.
Okay. Here's another trick we can do with the cookies or with any food that you shouldn't have. When you were heavy, when you were younger, you were heavy as a kid?
Mhm.
Okay. Was it, how did you get heavy as a kid? It's a weird question.
Yeah, I just always remember being a chubby kid. And I even all through adult life, I mean, I'd gain 50 pounds, lose 50 pounds, gain 50 pounds, lose 50
Okay.
pounds. It was a yo-yo. And so this past couple of years, I said, okay, I'm not going to make it a yo-yo. I'm going to try to, keep on top of it. I have no idea. I just always remember being a kid and always being chubby.
Okay.
Through high school. I was premature. Maybe they fed me too much. I don't know. I was, I guess, lucky to survive being 3 pounds or whatever.
Okay. Do you remember the pain you felt when you were overweight?
I wasn't happy with myself, that's for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go back in time to, how old were you?
I can remember elementary school not being happy, being chubby. Middle school,
Okay.
yes.
Go ahead and imagine yourself in elementary school and you're that heavy girl. Okay? And I want you to imagine that there's 2 tables, and on one is the healthy snacks, and on the other one is the cookies and ice cream. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Which table did you gravitate towards?
I'm sure that the one that's with the ice cream and the sweets.
Good. Now let's change that picture a little bit. The one table with the healthy snacks has the thinner, healthier, happier Carol.
Right.
And the other one has the chubby,
Right.
overweight Carol that's not happy.
Right.
Now which table do you go to?
Yeah, go to the healthy snack.
Good. So imagine looking at that table of all the unhealthy snacks. And then I want you to imagine the words that you felt when you were overweight. You were unhappy, chubby, overweight. I'll let you fill in those words. And place those words on the foods. You got that picture?
Yep.
Okay, now which table do you want to gravitate towards?
The healthy one.
The healthy table. Good. Now we're going to go back. There's a chubby girl at that table with all the unhealthy foods. And I want you to go back in time and tell that little girl stuff that she needs to know. Okay? You're going to go, hey,
Yeah.
I'm from the future. And you're about to get addicted to some foods that you're going to battle with the rest of your life. Here's what you need to know. So what wisdom can you share with that girl to make her feel good about herself so that she makes healthy choices and that she feels happy with how she looks?
Now, they always say that you're supposed to be happy with the way you are,
But you're not.
but I'm not.
Right.
The only time I am happy is when I get to the weight that I like, and then for some reason I'm there and I'm happy, but then I lose it. Not bad this time, but I'm inching up, and so now I have to try to get back on track.
Yep. So tell that younger version of you what she needs to know. Okay? And you can tell her, hey, you're going to make a lot of bad food choices, and you're going to exercise a lot to keep looking good.
Right.
And just let her know that she's okay. And let her know that she's eventually going to lose the weight.
Yeah.
It may be a constant battle her whole life, but she's going to lose it. She's going to look great. She's going to live in this crazy community. Okay? And how does that little girl feel now?
I would imagine happier if she knew what the future was going to be.
So tell her everything. You don't have to say it out loud. Just tell her. Is she going to have kids?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she going to love those kids?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. That's true.
So tell her she's going to have great kids.
Yeah.
She's going to live in this crazy community.
Do things that you never thought you would ever do.
Right, yes, yeah. She's going to exercise.
Yeah.
She's going to look amazing.
Not amazing, but
At least better than average.
Yeah.
And how does she feel about all that?
It's great.
Is she excited?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now let's grow her up with that knowledge into the woman you are now. And how does that feel?
Well, I guess if she did it all her life, I don't know. I don't know if she would still have the struggle.
Go ahead and go back there to when she's that elementary school girl
Yeah.
that's overweight, and go ahead and give her a hug. And let her know she's going to be all right.
I mean, technically, I should be happy because I'm healthy, and weight shouldn't really be.
Oh, now here's something.
priority.
What if you had the sweets to thank for you being so healthy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Or good genes, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, really can't complain. A lot of it's what I want.
uh-huh.
To. Well, so that's part of it. It's
But that's okay. What we're doing is that we're kind of rewriting your past. Because if that little girl grows up knowing she's going to be all right, it will help the little girl inside stop her feet. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Because then that little girl who got in the habit, got an extra, got an extra. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be fat, but I want the sweets. I want the sweets. You're on your own mental treadmill.
Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, I know it's mental.
So letting her know she's going to be okay.
Right.
She can have sweets once in a while, not every night.
Right.
And then building her up and saying, I love you. You're going to be just fine. You're going to be in amazing physical shape. And you can let the sweets go.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be fine. You don't need the sweets. And then grow her up into you. And then see how all that feels. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I try to
But
make...
you gotta constantly, that's something that you gotta constantly think about though. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
It can.
It can?
Yeah. It can. So go back to that younger you.
Yeah.
Tell her she's all right.
Okay.
Tell her you got this. Tell her everything she needs to hear.
Okay.
And tell her...
Only eat half of your food.
Well, with the sweets, okay, she made a connection that by eating sweets, she would feel better about herself.
Right.
But she doesn't.
But then it was then
Right.
you gain weight, so then you don't feel good about yourself.
Right.
So it's a kind of
Right. But now...
constant battle.
Right. So the food, the love she was hoping to get,
Right.
she's not getting
Right.
with the food.
Right.
So is it okay to put the food down?
Mm-hmm.
Will she be just as lovable if she doesn't eat junk?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever connection she made to food and attention or food and love or food and security, it's a flawed connection.
Yeah.
So now she can see it. And now the cookie is just the cookie.
Right.
The cookie is no longer love, attention, that numb feeling, whatever.
Right. Yeah.
It's just a cookie. It happens to cause this reaction in you, but once you see what that reaction is, now you can let it go. Because you know it's just a cookie.
Mm-hmm.
How does that feel?
Okay.
Good. So now you see your cookie. You're going to go home tonight. You have all the stuff laid out to make cookies.
I'm gonna make them, but I'm not gonna eat them.
How does that feel when you say that?
Good.
So run it through. You made the cookies. Okay? I made these cookies because I love to bake, right? But I hate to gain weight.
Yeah.
That was the hardest thing for me to learn, is that I could bake and not eat.
Not eat. Yeah.
And I could
can
put
do that.
I could put all my love into baking
Baking,
and
yeah.
watch everyone else in that community get fat.
Yeah.
It'd be perfectly okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so how do cookies feel?
Yeah. Take it or leave it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the exercise we're going to keep.
Yeah.
'Cause you like that.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it. So.
Okay, but now we've started to break the loop between I like my
Yeah,
sweets, I got to
yeah,
exercise.
right.
So now you can just exercise
Right, for the fun of it.
and just enjoy. So now, with going back and telling that part of you, if you close your eyes again, say, hey, I love to exercise because of how it makes me feel, not because I want to lose weight.
Right.
So start to break that connection that you love to exercise just because it makes you feel good.
Right.
Helps with arthritis, it helps with aging, it helps with all those good things,
Right.
but then just letting it go. So that exercise is just exercise. It's how you feel good about yourself and comfortable with yourself without having other attachments.
And it gives me something to do.
Yeah.
That's another thing. I just need to be. Well, I do sit down, but I read and I'm doing something. But I can't just sit. People take. I'll get 2-3 hours sleep, and then somebody said, "Well, can't you take naps?" I go, "No, I don't. That's not during the day. I just can't take naps
Okay.
unless I'm sick." But yeah.
So close your eyes a second and go, It's okay for me to be this active, but it's okay for me to rest. Because if you rest, you could exercise more.
Right.
So does that feel okay for you? Good. See yourself just giving yourself permission to rest. How does that feel? Is there any part of you that's like,
No, I rest at
Okay.
certain times, yeah.
All right, so now I'm going to give you one more thing. This is called a progressive relaxation. With your feet, you can start it either under your body. You may want to do your feet last and let them get that little extra
Right.
energy out of them. But what you can do is just start with your face. Just say, I relax my forehead.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I find it actually a little bit easier with your feet. Let's start with your feet. So when you're in bed,
Right.
I want you to imagine only relaxing your toes. And if that's too much, start with your pinky toe. Okay? So you can do this now. So just imagine your toes relaxed, that they're so heavy that you can't even lift your toes. Okay? For some people, it's like a little tingle. For some people, it might be like when you slowly get into a hot tub or a warm bath, you can have that feeling, okay? And then allow that bit of relaxation to move up to the bottoms of your feet and the tops of your feet, and then to your ankles, so that everything from your ankles down to the tips of your toes is perfectly relaxed. And then you can allow that relaxation, that warm bath feeling, to move up to your shins and your calves, and then to your knees, so that everything from your knees down to the tips of your toes is just perfectly relaxed. And then when you're ready, allow that relaxation to move up into your thighs and the backs of your thighs, your hips and your waist, into your chest and your shoulders, so that everything from your shoulders down to the tips of your toes is perfectly relaxed. And then from your shoulders down to your biceps and triceps, to your elbows, to your forearms, to your wrists, to your hands and palms, and to your fingertips, so that everything from your shoulders down to your fingertips, down to the tips of your toes, is perfectly relaxed. And then from your shoulders up to your neck, into your mouth, your tongue, having your tongue move from the roof of your mouth down, relaxing your jaw and your cheeks, your ears, your nose, your eyes and your eyebrows, your forehead and your scalp is just completely relaxed. And from here, give your body permission to just let go, knowing that by getting the rest that you need, you can actually do more. So allow yourself to make that trade-off, that by resting now, you can exercise more, you can be more active, and also find peace within breaking up the connections that you've made with sweets, so that the sweets are just sweets. Sweets are not love. And that exercise is something you do to make your body feel good. It's not just a means to an end to eat more sweets. So breaking up all of those connections so that you can just be dropping down in your body and relaxing. And finding that peace, that happy place within to just let go. And you will remember this entire method just perfectly, and that you can do this every night you choose to help you sleep and get all the relaxation and the rest and the peace from within that you need every night. And in just a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and when I get to 5, you'll be back to your full and regular waking consciousness, starting with 1, taking this moment for you to find a better night's sleep, and 2, breaking up the connections that you have with sweets, that sweets are just sweets and not love, and 3, exercising because you love how it makes you feel, and 4, coming back more and more now to the sound of my voice. You remember this entire session and can return to this state anytime you wish and get that full night's sleep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Eyes open, wide awake.
I do remember everything.
I like to I always slip that in so that you do.
Yeah.
Good.
So, hopefully.
How was that?
Yeah.
I'll also give you a copy of this recording
Oh.
so that you'll have it as well.
Oh,
Take
okay.
me a day or 2 to
Yeah.
get it to you.
I'll get this out.
But if you'll give me your email address, I can.
Not that I wrote very many notes.
You can keep the book if you like.
Oh, you don't need it?
Oh, do you need your, well, if you need your notes.
No,
keep
there's
your-
not very much. There's not very much. But
There we go. LILIEN19 at Yahoo. Okay, perfect.
I'll give this back to you in case you need it.
Okay.
Because you said it was your last one.
Oh, there's more where they come from. How is that?
Yeah, that was... I mean, I heard it and I'm going, I'm not really, when you start saying, okay, coming back, and I'm going, but I'm not really hypnotized. I mean, I knew what you were saying the whole time, but it was relaxing.
That's hypnosis. There's different levels of hypnosis. So a lot of people compare themselves to like a stage show. Well, how come I wasn't scooting across the floor thinking my butt was on fire? It's like, cause that's not what I do.
Right.
Hypnosis like that the whole purpose for that is to entertain,
Right.
and this is for to help
awareness,
people.
whatever, yeah.
So it's tapping into that the unconscious mind. So what I do basically, I'm an unhypnotizer because you've been believing
Right.
your whole life that these certain thoughts,
Right.
and so what I do is that I go back and I deconstruct them and say, okay, well, where did this come from? Really? Okay, well, where did that come from? And we keep going back until we figure out what it is, because it all relates. It all relates. And like with restless leg syndrome, there's a motion part of your body.
Yeah.
And for you, it was, I got to keep moving, got to keep exercising. Now, it works the opposite way. People who have pain in their feet, they're afraid of moving forward.
Because it hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, yours is like, no, I got to keep going.
Yeah. Many nights.
Yeah. So there's lots of ways that what you think about is what you become, but because you may or may not be trained to trace it back,
Right.
where does it come from?
Right.
So
Interesting. there's probably had a lot more hang-ups, but.
There are, and you know,
Yeah.
for and if you need help with those, obviously I have my services.
I don't know what they are, but I'm sure I have.
Actually, it'd be very similar to what we did here. This was fairly close to it was a quickie hypnosis
Right.
session,
Right.
but there's other techniques where we could really go back and delve deep into that. How did we get into that trap of the elementary school? I'm chubby, I got to exercise, but I want to
Right.
eat, but I got to exercise.
Yeah.
And so I have a bunch of different techniques that we can go in there and really go back in there. And if there's family members that are a part of that, then we can deal with the family members in such a way. So I have probably 60 different
I don't
ways.
really know. I think most of it I put on myself, and I think I was not a very popular, outgoing child, so I probably turned to food,
Yeah.
is what I'm guessing. Because I wasn't popular, I didn't have a whole lot of friends. It was hard for me to make friends. I'm guessing that's
Could be.
might be.
So here's one. I had a client who wanted to dance, ballroom dance. The problem is she was taking Xanax to do her ballroom dance, where they have the dances at night, just the social dances.
Yeah.
She had to take a Xanax
Oh really?
to this. She was okay in class, but when it came to the dance,
Oh really?
so we call it a regression, where we go
Yeah,
back to the
right,
cause.
right.
So I took her back when she was in 8th grade. She was an athletic girl
Right.
in school, but the best looking guy in the school asked her to dance. And when he found out she didn't know how to dance, he never talked to her again.
Ooh. Wow.
And it hardwired,
Right.
and then it became her reality. So that whenever dancing came up, she knew she wanted to do it. She wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the fact that if she didn't dance well enough, nobody would talk to her again was
Right.
the message. And it was just a weird.
Yeah. Wow.
And then there was another, she wanted to be a princess. And her mother said, no, you will not be, and took her princess costume and threw it in the garbage. She said, you're going to get by on your brains. And she's a very successful attorney.
Wow.
And, but the fact that she couldn't be a princess, it really put so what I told her, and this was about the time that Meghan Markle was
Right.
getting married,
Yeah.
I think, or it was just before that. And I said, Meghan didn't know how to be a princess.
Right.
She had to learn. I said, just like you have to learn. It's okay to not know.
Right.
And so you just have to go to princess classes. And so we had her go to princess classes.
Really?
Yeah, it was a really cool session.
Yeah,
I
wow.
go to, we're going to learn how to walk. We're going to learn how to wave, and do little princess things. And we're going to learn how to, cut our food and all the, we're going to dress, and it was just really fun to
Wow.
to put all that together for her.
Yeah,
And she's
yeah.
like, I never thought about that.
Wow.
So it's just breaking it all down.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I will hopefully see how this works.
yeah.
If I can get help with the restless legs, boy, it'd be great. Because that just drives me crazy. It is something that, like I said, I didn't take my restless leg pill, and I've just been on them for maybe 5 months, maybe. And I was like, it's almost like one time I didn't take because I wanted to get off the pill, so I didn't take it. Well, I was up the whole night. I didn't get even 10 minutes sleep. And so then the next night I said, okay, I'm going to try not to do it. Well, I was so exhausted and not taking the pill and having the restless legs start up again, I said, I can't do this. I was ready to shoot myself. So I had to go back on it. But it's hard to explain. It's just like you're constantly stretching, and I get it in my feet and my ankles. And it's like you're jerking, and you just can't relax. So, I mean, that relaxing thing, I've got to do that.
That'll help.
Yeah.
I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah, I can definitely do that because
And then keep checking in with your leg. Like I said, if your legs had a message for you, what would it be? Yours was
Yeah.
exercise.
Right.
Got to move.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, so
just-
I wake up in the middle of the night and go, okay, I can't go to sleep, so I'm gonna go up and,
Tell your legs, look, I'm fine.
yeah.
It's okay. I don't need to lose weight right now.
Yeah, right. Right. Not at 3
It's
in the morning,
okay.
I don't
You know what? I can lose weight at 7
Yeah,
a.m. and be okay.
yeah, yeah,
And see how that does.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah.
Sorry we had to fight everybody off of you.
Now, how would you do that if you had a bunch of people in here that had all different problems
I would get a list of the
of their
Yeah.
issues? And
Yeah,
then just-
basically the whole gist of the talk was it's not that you have a physical limitation for sleeping, you're designed for sleep, it's what's going on up here that affects
yeah.
the sleep.
And so when you're asking people to go back, every person is doing it, but silently or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Interesting.
I would, gear this towards what other people, because, somebody may be having money issues
Right, right.
and, going back into the money issues. Well,
Right.
why are you having money issues? Well, I don't have enough.
Right,
Or I don't know how to manage what I have. I mean, I hear all different
right.
stuff. So it's just going back into there. Where did you learn your attitudes about money? Oh, my dad, he was a horrible money manager. I never wanted to be like him. Whatever.
Right,
So
right.
it's, everybody has their different reasons. But the one thing I noticed that when people have trouble sleeping, there's a mental component to it. So what's the mental component and then how do we break it apart?
Yeah, yeah. Well, just gives me something to think about.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you for coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah, thank you.